In C++, we have a great tool called comparison operators. We use comparison operators all the time. And although we may think that they're similar to math, they are similar, but they are quite different. For instance, equal to, instead of being one equal sign, we use two equal signs in C++. I'll exemplify that in C line. When we want something to not equal something, we use the exclamation mark. So we have an exclamation mark equal sign, and that is not equal to. So in C++, the exclamation mark means not, therefore negating the statement that comes after the exclamation mark. And then similar to math, we have less than, we have greater than, we have equal to or less than, and then we have equal to or greater than. And I'll exemplify all these in more detail in C line. But all in all, we use these a lot, especially when we're dealing with loops or when we want something to equal something and at a different time not equal it. It's very useful, and again, I'll show you an example now. Comparison operators are basically used just to compare one another. And the comparison ends up being a boolean, a true or a false. So let's say if it's equal to, it's true. If it's not equal to, then it will continue because it was false. And again, I'll show it right now. To exemplify the comparison operators in C++, I'm going to use the following code, where we have integers where a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 3. So let's say if we wanted to see if a was equal to b, which we could already tell it isn't, we'll say an if statement, because we'll say if it is, then it will say it's equal. But if it's not, then we'll say it's not equal to. So judging by the integers we have here, 5 and 3, we're able to see that it's going to give us a is not equal to b. Right here it says if if a is not equal to b, then a is not equal to b. And here we're going to be able to see that a is not equal to b. So it will just output that. Hence there's no reason for another else statement. Right here we have a greater than b, which we could see that a, 5, is greater than 3. So it's going to output a is greater than b. Following, on the other hand, we're going to see that b is less than a because b is 3 and 5 is a. So 3 is less than 5, meaning that b is less than a. Lastly, very similar to the two examples that we just showed, is less than or equal to or greater than and equal to. And here, as we could see, that a is greater than or equal to b, even though it's not equal to b, it is greater than. So the output will be greater than or equal to, just because that's what we inputted here. And similarly, b is going to be less than a because that's b is 3 and a is 5, and it's not equal to, but it is less than. And just because we have the equal here, it's going to be b is less than or equal to a. So here, let's see what happens when we run the code. Even though we walk through this and we understand why each comparison operator does what it does, and how we could even furthermore use these comparison operators to be used in loops or branching or many different aspects of C++ to be able to get the output that we desire. But then again, here again, let's exemplify this code. So as we predicted, the first one, a, is not equal to b. The second one, a, is not equal to b because we know that a is greater than b, b is less than a, and a is greater than or equal to b, or b is less than or equal to a. And this is exemplified through the code that we walk through, and we understand why each comparison operator outputs what it outputs.